Russia's possible G8 return has already split the West, even before any chair is formally added back to the table. A draft US-backed peace framework for Ukraine quietly floats the idea of readmitting Moscow, turning what was once unthinkable for Brussels and Washington into a live negotiating chip. Across NATO and EU capitals, the prospect alone is forcing a recalculation. Russia would not walk in as a pariah seeking forgiveness, but as a sanctions-hardened power that has survived isolation and leveraged war to rewire its economy. That shift in posture, from problem state to indispensable power, is what really rattles Europe. In Kyiv, the reaction is closer to alarm than diplomacy. Zelensky, already battered by battlefield fatigue and dwindling Western aid, now faces his nightmare scenario. Russia edging back toward diplomatic respectability, while Ukraine risks being treated as a bargaining chip in a bigger US-Russia deal. Germany has drawn a red line. Chancellor Friedrich Merz has publicly rejected any move to restore Russia to the G8, bluntly saying that among the 6 G7 members who are not the United States, there is no willingness to readmit Russia to this group. Other European leaders are signaling similar resistance, warning that Moscow's return would weaken Europe's leverage at the very table meant to project Western unity. Yet in Washington, especially in the Trump camp, Russia's potential comeback is framed as pragmatic necessity. You cannot end the war in Ukraine, stabilize the energy markets, or manage Iran, the Middle East, and global grain routes without talking to Moscow. Critics counter that this isn't strategy, but dependence. Proof that the US now needs Russian cooperation to solve crises it can no longer manage alone. Behind closed doors, Western planners aren't just staring at maps, but at spreadsheets. On paper, Russia today is the world's 9th largest economy by nominal GDP, around $2.5 trillion, and 4th by purchasing power parity, larger than any EU member on a PPP basis. If Moscow is readmitted, the G8's combined GDP swells. But so does Russia's weight inside the club, crowding the space of mid-tier economies like Italy and Canada, and shifting the center of gravity toward a commodities and energy superpower. And that is the deeper fear in Western capitals. Beyond Putin's war, sanctions, and nukes, the question is brutal. Are G8 governments ready to bring back an economic giant whose sheer scale, resources, and political will could boost the G8's brand value, yet overshadow some of its own members? Whether Russia ever actually gets the empty chair or not, the fact that the West is even debating Moscow's return shows how much of the game Putin has already managed to bend without firing a shot at the G7 itself.